Okay.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Immergence Show. Today, we're diving into a massive cultural shift, one that's redefining how we can create, own, and experience art, fashion, and brand engagement in the digital age. We're talking AI, Web3, digital collectors, Gen Z, and the new creative economy. What does it all mean, and how can brands and creators stay ahead? To break it all down, I'm joined by someone who has spent over 2 decades shaping the luxury, fashion, and creative industries, working with some of the world's biggest brands before stepping into the frontier of digital art and immersive experiences. Please welcome Carles Solavilla, an innovator at the intersection of technology and creativity. Let's get into it. Hi, Carlos. How are you doing today?
Hi, Nico. Thanks so much to invite me to be part of the show today. I think that it's amazing what you are doing and in the way that we use as example the technology to trying to express, to explain, and to share what we know that it's happening and how deep it's happening in our lives and in the future of our lives in a way that we never seen. And yeah, I think I'm super excited to be here and to connect with all the community and be part of your event and show today. Yes, amazing.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your kind words. And thank you to our amazing community for always being here, supporting us, engaging with us. Ian, Gabriel, Jean, everyone else who's tuning in live or will join and watch the recording afterwards. We're actually grateful for Ian introducing us together. So always looking for, kind referrals as well. All right, so let's get into your professional story. Tell us about your background. Go deeper into like your journey and how you got into this space that we are talking about and started creating these beautiful ventures that we're going to talk about.
Well, that's a very good question because I don't know how to start. But I think that is important to understand. The first thing is, of course, I'm electrical engineer, and I've been working with engineering and electricity and the speed of electricity as part of my university and my background. But what really made me a challenge or changed my life, it was that I met with the owner of, I don't know, Mango, that is a company that started in Barcelona, a fast fashion company created from scratch and one of the biggest ones now for women. And he asked me to join the company and to help him in that moment of fast fashion and build the company with him. From there, I moved to Zara Inditex for 3 years. And then I had the opportunity to move from Barcelona to London. It was the time of Christopher Bailey and Angela Aren in Burberry. It was a really exciting times in the company, building really a good project globally, super inspirational. Christopher, it was simply amazing to work with him. That kind of inspirational leaders, creative brains, taking care of the heritage of Britishness, the brand and outwear. And then we had, of course, Angela Aren, that it was the most exceptional person that I met in my life as a CEO of the company. And even I remember that some conversations with her, always talking about how important it was the teams, how it was important to manage emotions, and how the people, they are going to remember you not for what you say, sino for what they feel when they are with you. And that was like a wake up call, no? Say yes, that's of course you are in life. You know that emotions are important, but you don't realize how important their emotions until you are in that corporate level and you see how they manage the teams and how they create the collections with that kind of emotions, creativity, and sometimes fullness, because the way that the things happening in the headquarters, in the creatives, are completely sometimes insane, crazy. A lot of, you can imagine, you put Italian, Spanish, French, US people working together to make the collection. And it was that kind of explosion of creativity and emotions there. And then I moved to Ralph Lauren in Hong Kong. I had the opportunity that it was more or less the last period of my journey in that Ralph Lauren. But what is important for me, it's a part of that. I had my passion in the collector. I'm a collector. I used to collect a lot of Spanish painters and sculptors. And I realized the importance of the artistic side in our life. For me, it's what is important is to realize that art, it's not just something for top people, like a lifestyle. Art needs to be part of our life. Arts, if you can have art in your life, it's going to help you to be more happy, to connect with a lot of people in a more peaceful, relaxed way, to just enjoying life in another way. No? And I realized that for all my journey in fashion and luxury, traveling around the world, and understood the importance of the technology, because of course, when you are working in that kind of companies and you understand what's going in the technology side, we were starting to talk about the fourth revolution and all that in manufacturing. No? But you realize that technology allow us to make art accessible to everybody. And that was the beginning of my thoughts. No, that was the beginning of my
the aha moment.
Exactly. Let's do something. I was like 50s, like I say, I need to do something in my life that really it's important for me, not just to make money or to face some. It's like I need to do something that really have an impact in the society and bring my little contribution in everything that happened in the world. And I think that it was the time, it was around 4 years ago, that we started the conversations to create Bloomsbury, because Bloomsbury is the company and Artdott is the gallery itself. And we started the project in completely different approach. At the beginning, it was more how to move the traditional paintings in the digital space, not to have like a marketplace that the artists, they can bring their own canvas. But suddenly, it was the explosion of blockchain, Web3s, NFTs, and now AIs, and all the technology was behind. And it was like that kind of, we need to, I think that there is a lot going on, and we need to be open to explore what's happening. And then suddenly we started to discover that kind of amazing Renaissance artist. Suddenly you find, because I'm for my collection, from my collector point of view, I was always involved in going to the studios. No, I was loving to go with the studio, to connect with artists, to spend time with them, to go for dinner. It was like my friend. It's not that I create my collection to show to my friends. I create my collection because it was like a nice memories of my experience with the artists, no? And I wanted to have that with me, and I was traveling around the world because the companies that were paying for that, no, but I was traveling with my collection around the world, and it was that kind of, I can be anywhere with my collection because my collection, it was part of my memories with artists, and it was bringing a lot of good memories for that. But then when I started to move in digital and say digital, you can make it accessible to everybody. Okay, it means that everybody can access in a very cheap prices or in a very like a normal life to the digital art. Second part, you started to discover that kind of amazing people. See, amazing artists with a Renaissance background, because a lot of them, they use technology, they had an artistic approach. It means that they were caring about the process of creation and trying to have a curation or a story behind. And then the third party was that kind of humanistic approach. So see, a lot of artists, they wanted to have that kind of bring their own help with the art that they are doing to have a better place to live, no? And they were caring about diversity, about inclusion, about sustainability, all the things that I feel that they are super foundational now more than ever after COVID, no? Because before COVID, and even for my generation, it was not as relevant as now. But after COVID and all that things, I feel that this is just something that if you don't have that, you cannot be in the world. No, it means that was something that I started to realize, that you find that kind of amazing artists. A lot of them super Gen Zs, millennials, super 20s, 25, 30s, that they were managing technology in a way that I never seen, creating an amazing digital pieces with a lot of passion. And I say, well, I need to put my full time on that. I cannot just make it as a hobby. This needs to be my full time, and needs to be a project that I need to go deep, and I need to use technology, and I need to connect that artist to help them to go to the wall, and I need to connect the brands and fashion companies in that kind of ecosystem at the same time. And yeah, it was like very organic, because even I'm engineer, I changed my brain. So I use now more the creative side and not the logic side, because I spent 20 years in fashion luxury in very creative environments. It means that sometimes even myself, I'm a little like crazy, because in that kind of creativity, you never know exactly where you are going to arrive, but everything is organically. But I feel very comfortable in that kind of spaces, and that's the reason, because when I create a company, I found co-founders, and we started from there. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. You and I have that in common, studying electrical engineering and then getting into the creative world. Very cool. Thank you for sharing all of that. So from that experience, years of experience in the best of the best fashion and luxury, what did you see missing? Or like, were there any, I'm sure there are so many takeaways from those experiences that kind of helped you define the next step better. Do you want to share a little bit of that before we get into the recent actions?
There is a lot of missing, and you can see now that there is like a big crisis in the luxury and fashion companies right now, because, and I'm not going to explain all the reasons, because there is a lot going on at these moments. There is a lot going on at these moments. But one of the things that I feel that it's something that we lost, or they lost, or all the companies or part of them, is the community side. See, a lot of luxury and fashion, they were focused in growing. We want to grow. We want to have more stores. We want to have the best possible head of design that is super cool, is well recognized. We have the most amazing, but they lost track of how to build community in the brand. Okay, and how to make the people engage with what the brand can bring to the people, but not just with the product, with what they bring to the humanity, what they bring to the communities, how they can help the communities to be part of the brand, and the brand part of the communities. I feel that they lost that kind of human touch in everything that they were doing, because they were so focused in the aesthetics and in the growth in a way that we never see, because it was that kind of growing, 20%, 15%, more collection, more stores, more countries. Now we want to go to, it was that kind of craziness. And the things were going well, I have to say. It was a nice times to be there. But I feel that they burned, they took that kind of high speed process, and now some of them they are going to disappear. I tell you, it's very clear that some of them, they are not going to continue. Thanks God, there is a new companies that it has been created during COVID or post-COVID that they are bringing that kind of community, and they know how to make it. And this is another thing that is super relevant in the last years, that is less marketing and more authenticity. Okay, and this is another thing that I feel that is a lesson learned, and it's coming with the technology and the access to what we talk about, the creative space, or the creative economy, or the creative, or see the people that they really do things because they feel or they have they have the need to do it. It means that we are going to see that little by little, that kind of brands, they are going to use less marketing, because marketing is just sometimes something that helps to sell, but is not real, is not authentic. And we are going to move from that kind of marketing to authenticity, to make it more engaged with the communities. It means that this is, I feel that this is another big thing that is linked in that kind of transition, and how to move that kind of communities to the brands. I feel that this is where we need to put the focus, and there is a reason for that. And this is not because they didn't do the job in the last years, because technology itself, it has been changed completely, the way that the new customers, they are connecting with the reality. And this is what we talk about, the new renaissance, that it happens in two parts. One is the creative people, that they can create in a way that we never seen before, and they are mixing things that we never did in the last years. Another one is the clients itself, and what we talk about, Gen Zs and millennials. Now they have the power. That's it. The power is not in the headquarters of London or New York, or in Paris or in Milan, with 4 people decided what they want to sell, and how you are going to dress, and what colors you are going to wear, and if a woman needs to have skirts and a man needs to have pants. This is not working like that anymore. There is not that kind of top-bottom decisions happening. The power is in the communities. The power is in each of us, that needs to decide the direction that you want to go. And you need to decide how you want to dress, and how you want to fit, and which people you want to talk. And you have the final decision in which communities you want to be involved. It means that if the brands, they use you as only a customer, it means that if you feel that you are used for the brands just because you have money to spend that, you are not going to go there anymore, because there is another brands that they treat you as a community, as a human, as a person, as part of the change, or part of the story, or part of something that is relevant for them. It means that as a final users, the power of the technology, and then of course, because the Gen Zs and millennials, they spend 60 or 70% of the time hyper connected, because it is what it is. They are all the time connected with the devices, hyper connected, with thousands of messages, with a lot of friends around the world, with a lot of information. With just a click, you can check, you can compare, you can understand if what they are saying is fake or it's authentic. You can see a lot of information, and in the past it was not possible to see. Or in the past it was filtered for editorials, or for newspapers, or for all that. It's just finished. It means that the power is in the final consumer, is in the final person who owns the device and the power of the information. It's up to you to decide if you want to follow one trend or another, or the fake news. It's up to you to understand how good the information that you have, it's good or it's bad, but it's you who need to make the job. But what it happens is, because you have the power, you need to decide what you want, and you have that kind of change in a way that the clients and the brands, they need to work. And this is one of the big challenges that they are facing, that kind of direct to consumer, that kind of community, that move from top to bottom to top, and how the small communities, they can create collections, they can create campaigns, they can create fits, they can create brands, they can create whatever they want, because technology helps you to do that. And this is where we are at this moment.
That's really powerful. Thank you so much. I mean, as Yemi said it best, like, you're dropping facts. I can't agree more with a lot of things you mentioned, but we're going to break them down a little bit. But before that, thank you so much for our amazing community. They're talking among themselves, cheering each other up. So I love it. Yeah, I mean, lovely conversations. Thank you, Burrito. Aaron, everyone else, Yemi, everyone who's tuning in, Fatima, hey everyone. And Ian is commenting on my mug. Well, I got this at the headquarters of LinkedIn. Let's get into these topics that you touched on. So you're saying the marketing in the traditional way is no longer as effective. And then there's this, like we see a lot of communities started hiring community managers seriously, trying to use a lot of different platforms like Discord and others to create communities. So there's that shift that you mentioned. And then there is the change of consumer habits and how they are now most of their times online, and they get a lot of their information online, so they want their communities be where they are. And then you also touched on how luxury used to be around community, and I think it's worth mentioning the reason was because it was more like local focused around the stores, and like they could really provide that hands-on white glove experience. But now at scale, that may not work. So what's the alternative? And so there are all these things happening at the same time. And then, and the creators never had as many powerful tools to support them. We didn't even get to talk about that. What are your thoughts about AI? Do you want to kind of touch on that a little bit?
You open another big conversation.
So because I know we're going to get into a very sensitive topic, which is the IP part, which concerns a lot of people. But
I think that AI is it's amazing. I'm not going to discover the power of AI, and I think that AI is going to help all of us, even myself. It's like my best friend. See, I always, every day, I have my conversations with ChatGPT. And
have you picked a name yet?
No, I not arrived to that level of friendship with ChatGPT, but it's like it's amazing. It's even to make PowerPoints, even to explore in the creative side concepts that maybe before you spend 2 days, and now maybe with 10 minutes you can develop a draft that helps you to start anything. That it means that is amazing. See, AI, it's super good. There is a lot of course, bad stories around AI. If they are going at the end, we are going to work for AIs, and they are going to take the control of the world. And there is that kind of scary stories about you never know, because everything is super connected with data, and they can get crazy with weapons and all that kind of things if they don't have managed the IT side. But at the end of the day, AI, it's going to help all of us, and it's going in the creative side even more. Now there is AIs that you can translate words with images, or even some of the artists that we have in the gallery, because there is a lot of conversations about the ownership and authenticity of the AI, But one of the things that I feel that when I talk with artists that they use AI, they always say the same. See, the start point is always my content. See, I have images, or I have things that I create by myself, but then I use AI to combine all that information and make something new. See, I use algorithms, but the start point is always my works.
And even the end point, right? So yes. It's not like fully AI take over, create. No, we're collaborating.
See, that's the thing. See, there is one of it that is the creation process. See, one thing is I use AI, I go to the internet, I took images, and I use some kind of algorithms to make something cheap and put it under my name, with no respect of the authenticity to the ownership of the initial images of the people who made that images. And this is a big question mark that how it's going to work. But if you want to use it well in the creative side or in my space, for all the things that I talk with the artist, and always they are on the same page. Say, Carlos, the start point is the information or the content that we have already, and then from there we use algorithms to make something new, or to make something more dynamic, or to put some kind of movements, or to change colors, shapes. But the start point is coming from me, and this is what I really it's powerful that. There is different ways to use AI. There is the bad one, there is the good one, there is in the middle. There is a lack of regulation that we can go there after, but this is something that
before that, let's quickly show the audience some of this beautiful artwork that you guys are supporting. I know you have it on your screen, so let's show that to make it a little bit more visual. Yeah, if you want to walk us through some of the artist works that you have supported.
Yes. Well, I think that this is important to understand that Artdott, and I think that it's engaging communities through immersive experience. Okay, this is aligned with what we talk during the initial conversations. That how digital art or how art can be like a storytelling of the community, or can be a way that the people, they feel that kind of authenticity, that or engagement with the things that happen around the digital space. This is just a selection of, we have different top or different tiers of in the company. This is the top tier 1 artists that we have. One of the things that we are trying to bring is diversity and inclusion as part of the gallery. We are a global gallery, even that we are still missing some artists from another places and all that, but we are working on that. But we are trying to have the most, because that's, I think that this is another point that is super important. It's coming with a philosophical background of deconstruction. Okay, that the deconstruction is like, we need to deconstruct what we have, and we need to rebuild all the cultural things with diversity and with different points of view. And this, it happens not just with the colors or with the shapes or with the brands or with the way that we live and the way that we talk, and even the way that we judge the people in our conversations. We have a lot of history on that. We have a lot of bad habits because we built something with that it has not been diverse and inclusive between men and women, or between sexual whatever, or between colors. Or there is a lot of, even as a society, a lot of nationalities, a lot of fighting between nations and all that. We need to understand that we are all together. We are a world that diversity is the richness of where we are, and everybody have something to explain and something to bring in completely different aspects. And this is in the selection, we are trying to have that kind of as much as we can, and we need to improve all that. But this is the selection that we present. This is just Selay, is from Turkey, from Istanbul, and she's doing amazing things with data, like Google Earth. It's always bringing massive millions of datas, and then make it then visible in that kind of amazing exhibitions that she's doing around the world. But it's something that I highly suggest to go to our platform, or you look for Selay Karasu. You are going to see what she's doing, but it's amazing. And normally she's super connected with sports. She's really a professional sport player, and she likes to work with brands, with sports. We have several projects with some of the brands that I cannot say now, but she's normally trying to develop projects with something that she loves, and it's that kind of sports, yoga's brands, the power of she with women's communities, and trying to bring that kind of approach. Reuko, he's coming from gaming. It has been work a lot of years in gaming, and one of the tools that he's using is Unreal Engine. That is the software that it's in
game engine.
From gaming, using millions of particles in a way that present the works, and he's working with a lot of. It's amazing the way that he works, because he's going to the most strange places in the world, in a very specific places, in a very strange times, and go with the drones, and then have that kind of connection in that places, and record with the drones, is make that kind of because this is the images that you can see, is a very real places that with the drones they record, and they have that kind of start point. And then from there, on top of that, he put all that kind of luminic sculptures with Unreal Engine. And the end is very unique. Is that kind of physical spaces with digital spaces, make it a full experience of energy, connected with luxury wellness. but it's part of the LGBT community, a lot of sensibility on that kind of diversity too. But it's that kind of it's amazing. It's another Renaissance person, humanistic, and it's and then we have Sebastian from Buenos Aires, that he loves to play with music and digital art. He's an expert of AI too. He has awesome artworks from Ether Forest, connecting with natural. I think that he spent around 1 year to create a 1 hour production that is Ether Forest. I think that now is at 3.0. We have the 2.0 in the platform that you can enjoy it. You can go to YouTube, and you are going to have free of charge with our logo. But if you want to see all that kind of things, you can go to YouTube, you can see Artdott, and you can enjoy it with some of them with our logo. But you can do it, and you are going to discover him. No, but he's doing amazing things with that kind of natural music, AI, and they are always trying to explore new technologies. Then we have John Wong.
Sorry, I don't think we will get to all of them. So let's just talk about how Artdott is helping these folks. And just for the audience, if they want to, be as a collector or as a creator, tell us now about the platform, but with these examples, how are they benefiting from your support?
One of the platform, what we say is to protect the copyrights and IPs of the artist, because this is what we realize, that we cannot put digital art just open to everybody and sending files to everywhere. That's because the reason of the platform, and we are in blockchain. You can create your smart contracts, and you can, even if you want to buy something, you can buy it with your wallets. And then you can put everything in your wallets as part of the ownership of the collection. It means that we are trying to protect the copyrights of the artist, and then we are trying to protect the copyrights of the owners, of the collectors in the platform. And then we use the streaming services. It means that you have your playlist, you have your spaces that even you can enjoy with amazing 20, 30 minutes artworks that you can play in your TVs, or you can play in your, you have an immersive space, and not just as a private collector, as a business. Imagine you have your LED walls in the shop, or in your gym, or in your auto, but you can pay your membership, and you can access to all the spaces, and you can access to everything that you have there. You can create even playlists with the collection that we are. It means that you have that kind of bespoke. You can do whatever you want to do with the things that we have there, and we are protecting the copyrights of the artists and the owners, the collectors, in our platform, and that's the reason that. And then we have AR and VR technology, just a way to play. It means that you can use your phone, you can project your digital art in any space, outdoors, and then you can create that kind of connection and play with physical and digital with your communities and engage with them.
So to summarize, basically what I understand is a marketplace with very advanced features to basically become like a home for the creators to bring in all the various multimedia that they create, and then be able to connect with their audience there. And then you also support them with the IP, which we'll talk about further. Is that a good summary of what Artdott is?
Yes, we need to understand that at this moment we are super focused in B2B. It means that a part of the platform, we have projects specifically with companies. It means that we are developing with the artists that we have a specific immersive experience or brand activations or customer experience in that kind of digitalization of the physical spaces. And we use the platform as a way to stream everything in the places and to assure that all the copyrights are protected. But yes, it's what you say. It's the connection between artists, companies, and final collectors in a safety place.
Beautiful. Yeah. And speaking of those experiences, I just want to quickly share what you shared with me. Yes. So you guys are B2B. Maybe you can talk about, some of these examples to clarify what you guys did in these collaborations.
This is work from Soleil, the one that explained that she works with data and she loves sports, right. And is for one of the brands that is the Power of She, and is that kind of collecting data from consumers and make it as a piece of art in the interaction in the flagship stores in the brand. It means that this is the way that the clients, they can connect with the brands, they can be part of the digital art, and they can be part of that kind of brand activation and customer experience.
And then you kind of do the similar thing with different brands and different activation, right? This one, I think, had so much going on, right?
Yes, there is a lot going on, even with the collectibles, with the AR and VR experience, that the people, they can play with the product, with the phones. It means that that's what I was trying to explain at the beginning. See, there is a lot going on.
Right.
The digital artists, they are the creators of the story. But then the story, they can be put in place in flagship stores, in digital marketplaces, in pop-up events, can be in your personal. See, you can put that story everywhere with the technology. But the story is what in the past maybe it was a marketing campaign, but now it's coming from the creative artistic side. And this is what make the powerful thing of the creative economy.
Very cool. Awesome. So I think that was a good teaser to talk about now, this concept of digital IP. And so what do you think has shifted in terms of the mindset around digital ownership and brand engagement?
Well, I feel that, see, the most important is to understand that there is a lot of people that they are working very hard to create things that they look amazing. Okay, and this needs to be protected, and because there is a lot of people that, of course, they create that digital pieces or that digital artworks, and the people sometimes they don't realize how hard it is for them to do it.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time, because now it looks like everything is AI, and this is not true. It's like you have an AI app and you create in 5 minutes. This is not true. There is always people that they are working hard to make it visually exciting, because that's another concept that it's super important to understand. We are able to make emotions in a pixel. We see at the end we are electrical signals. See, what will happen here is just electricity moving around from one place to another. But we learn how to make it sexy, or how to make it emotional, or how to make it engaging, how to put some. See, it's amazing what we did, no? Because it's like with just electricity and waves and all that, we make something that the people, when they look the screen, they feel that, oh, well, it's something that I want to be there. I feel super connected, and I want to know more, no? And that's super attractive, and I want to have in my wall. It means that this is something that there is a lot of work, and we need to be sure that the people who do that work is protected. This is number one, and IPs are super important, that needs to be protected from the beginning. And we are still learning how to do it. And this is, I shared with you the presentation, that kind of copyrights and IPs and all that. If you want to share, maybe.
For a moment, I want to pause and mention that, we have several of these great creatives in the audience and, in the chat, like Yami, Fatima, Nova. I know these folks, they have been doing so much good work before all of this. They've been artists, and then they came and transitioned and incorporated this work into their creations. And it's not easy, especially the great works come from those who know the craft. And so I'm sure this is a very exciting conversation for them to know how to protect. So let's get into it.
Yeah, I feel that that's the concept of creativity. Is a search. It's ability to form something from parts of everything. Means that we have that kind of capacity to link different things, and then from there make something more personal. There is a explanation, no? And then, so if you can agree with that definition of AI, is absolutely capable of creativity in some aspects, because more capable than humans. It means that AI can connect all that different things in a way that can make it something new with algorithms, but needs to have something to start. And this is what is the process of creativity. We have our world, we have artificial intelligence, and I'm not going to go in that level, but there's a history behind. But this is all the things happening in AI in the last years, and new apps coming, and and technology that is
Every day.
accessible to everybody, and new things coming. But what is important, and I think that this is the concept of building the digital future. And I feel that this is the image that I wanted to share with everybody in the call. Now, there is, from one side, there is the regulation and reforms that needs to come from the governments, and we're still not there. I think that there is now a new regulation coming from US saying that if you use AI, but the things are yours, more or less, you can be the ownership of that. But still, there is a lot of lack of regulation on that process of ownership, authenticity, authorship, and then, of course, what is fair and what is not fair, and how to move IPs from one place to another. And this is a missing part that they need to put in place as soon as possible. And then the second part is our role as a platform, that is how to assure the digital trust and cybersecurity. Okay, and this is more the digital identity, blockchain. We talk about NFTs, but at the end, it's a smart contract, not a smart contract that helps the people to have ownership, to understand who is going to pay the fees and who is going to receive that fees. It's like a licensing at the end, the smart contracts, and then digital assets and tokenization and decentralization. It means that this is, I feel that this is the relevant thing. This is what I was talking about, regulation, the different things that you need to consider, that they need to put in place, and what it's at this moment, it's the discussion, that kind of hybrid authorship. It means that if the images are yours, but you use IPs, more or less the output is yours. But if the images that you start, everything is coming from internet or is coming from other places, then it's a big question mark that who owns the final product. And this is, we know that the ownership only can be product, only can be people, cannot be algorithms. It means that if you are the owner of AI, you cannot be the owner of the product. It means that this is a conversation that needs to be put in place.
OpenAI will not own what we create using ChatGPT.
Well, at this moment, no. At this moment, there is not a regulation in that direction. You never know what they can do, but at this moment, it's clear that they are not going in that direction. But this is what I was explaining. And yes, I think that everything is digital trust and cybersecurity. I think that this is what we need to put the accent, and this is a very technology point of view, but how we can help in the same way that in the traditional galleries in the past century, they were putting the accent that how we can assure that we don't have copies in the market of canvas or paintings and all that. It was the role of the galleries, how to protect the artist in the past. We need to do the same. It's a gallery that we need, it's a cyber gallery that we need to be sure that the digital artists at this moment, everything that they are doing is protected, and the people that they use it, they pay the licensing, or they have cleared the copyrights or intellectual properties, that there is somebody there that created and needs to be paid because is the owner of that piece. And this is, I feel that is where we need to put the accent.
So you all have automated the process for the creators to use the smart contracts, create the NFT, and then based on all of that, they will be protected, right?
You have everything in the platform. Yes, that's the point, that everything that's in the platform, you can make your tokens, or you can make your smart contracts in the platform. You can put your fees on, and you can have your licensing. It means that if there is a company that create a project, they pay for the initial artwork, and then there is a licensing of 3 months. It means that they will need to pay in the platform for the 3 months to be sure that the artist they receive. But all the files are in blockchain and are in our platform. It means that we're never going to send a file to anybody. Everything is going to stay, and then they can access, they can open an account, they can do streaming, they can do whatever they want, they can have in your wallet, but everything is inside the platform.
I see. And how would you say this is different from like OpenSea, for example?
But OpenSea is not a streaming platform. It's just a marketplace. In our case, we are a streaming platform. It's like a mix between OpenSea, YouTube, and all that. It means that you can create playlists, and you have spaces.
From the IP perspective.
Yeah, we use blockchain, and in that
Same
concept,
thing.
the blockchain.
Okay, got it. Very cool. Thank you. And how do you think brands should, pay attention to any of these discussions?
But that's linked with the initial conversations that we had. See, at this moment, the brands they need, or the big conversations at this moment in the headquarters of the companies, is trying to understand what they need to do to connect with the new generations. Okay, because the old ones, or they are buying less, or they are not buying, and the new generations they are buying different. It means that that's the thing that they are thinking, or they are trying to figure out how to connect with them. They know that digital is one of the biggest channels to connect with them. See, the new generations, they are not used to go to the shopping malls as before,
Yes.
or they are not going to the mainstream, main streets or commercial streets to discover the brands. They discover the brands through gaming, through communities, through
Mm.
Instagrams,
Social media. Yeah.
through Alibaba's marketplaces, through, I don't know, whatever they use,
Timo.
wherever it is, but not as us that we were used to go to the street and explore. And no, it means that when they go to the street, they have a clear picture of what they want to go and what they want to do. And even when I was working in Zara, it was amazing because we started to have that kind of online clients that they were buying different styles, different sizes, and they were doing that kind of tea party at home. It was like 5 or 6 friends asking for a lot of samples or units at home. They were doing a party with fittings, super comfortable at home, and then they were buying only one. And then they resend everything to the stores. Like no, but it was like that. It was the option to send back to the
Yeah.
warehouse the thing free of charge. It means that it was that why you need to go to the store and go to the fitting room with making a queue, and it's like if you can send everything at home, have a
But
party with
not
your
very
friends.
sustainable, right? With all
It
these
is,
returns comes sustainability issue.
but it's a change. It's a change of the behaviors, and even now in the gaming industry, you can see that the people they go to the games and they can create feeds or in 3D. They can change the feeds, or they can change the colors, or they can make outfits of something in a digital
Yeah.
space. If you want to make it in more sustainable way, no, it means that is that kind of is not made to measure, but it's a little bespoke. It's that kind of one piece flow that the people they are not going to have like 1,000 or 10,000 units, the same color, the same fit. You are going to see that little by little for different prints or different outfits or different colors or different colors. They are going to make little changes and they are going to produce less quantities to be sure that everybody have what they want. It means that that kind of the behavior, that kind of customers, that kind of relationship with the brands, this is the big conversations that happens. And then in that kind of digital space, that you need to put emotions. It's not just selling. The people they need to connect with something authentic, with diversity, and this is the role of the digital artist. Not that the digital artists they need to engage with the brands. The brands they need to engage with the digital art. They need to be a true connection between both, and then from there you can expand the story in all that digital spaces.
Yeah, I mean, like Art Basel, I think is a good example. Because it's kind of a combination of digital and physical activations, and then you have all the brands that want to do some activations, but how are they going to engage emotions? They need the artists, and then I know several agencies come in between and make those connections happen. So really important part that brands need to pay more attention to. But thank you so much for sharing that. Let's get into some of the comments. And folks in the audience, if you would like to ask any questions, we have about 15 minutes or so. If you guys want to ask your questions in the chat, that would be great. Scott says, interchangeable asset container template seems like a viable idea. Do you have any comments on that, Carlos?
Pues not really. I'm not used to have an opinion on that part. No, I cannot help here, Scott.
And then spatial computing itself presents the ultimate synergy marketing opportunity. Asset trades within spatial composition is a tangible example. Yeah, I mean, it's all the revolutions of different media and emerging tech coming together to help us protect and provide better solutions. All right, so many cool comments. Licensing is a definite point of interest, and so on. Cool. So let's talk about, in terms of the future, again, based on your interactions with artists, you kind of hear a lot from where the artists are kind of transitioning, where the brands are transitioning, even the audience. Like, what do you see is happening now and where we are heading towards over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, yes. It's not. I think there is three big things. One is the artists, another one is the brands, another one is the collectors. Okay, because
Right,
we talk about art. The artists, I think that is going to be more. I think that we are going to see more and more amazing artists coming to the art wall, using technology that we never seen, creating the most amazing pieces because they are managing insane quantity of data. Even now with NVIDIA, you can see what happened with Rafik and Adol and everything that's happening with all the data that he managed. But it's that kind of access to create amazing artworks with a lot of quantity of data that create that kind of perception that you are in complete, that kind of fluidity that is super engaging and make the people feel something that like you are in the water or you are in a river or you are in the middle of that kind of fluid space. No?
Immersion,
Immersive. That's something that we never felt before, only when you are in the water, but you cannot see it in a normal life. And that kind of fluidity, and it's super engaged because we have the technology and NVIDIAs and data to do it. As a brand's point of view, they are in that kind of transition. Okay, we are going to see new brands coming from scratch with another kind of values, with another kind of technology to talk with the clients, to be part of the communities, to be co-creators of even the collection or even the brands. They are not going to be in that kind of brand and clients. It's going to be part of community and the artists itself. They are bringing a lot of big communities in that relationship, because some of them they have 500,000 followers. 1 million followers. You can understand that when the artists they are moving in that level, there is a lot of people that they follow the artist already, but not because they feel something what the artist is doing. Reuco, he just put some kind of post in Instagram and suddenly they have like 20 million views. It means that there is something happening there. No, there is 20 million people or 20 million connections in that kind of digital art that the people suddenly they feel something. It's just happening. Yeah. It's just happening, and it's just a click that you put it, and the technology helps you to connect.
It goes viral.
Amazing. And then the future is in the collectors. I feel that this is and is aligned with the customers too. And this is the big challenge, is that we are still not ready, but we see that digital art and collectors, and algorithms, they are going to be part of the co-creation process. And this is one of the big things that it's coming. You know, that art is not just happening in the studio of the artist, or art is not happening with the artist and the brand. Collectors, in that case, they are going to be part of the co-creation with the algorithms and with the artist in that kind of community creation process. And this is something that we see that's going in that direction.
So I'm curious, who are your collectors audience right now? Are these like more Web3 folks, crypto native? Or are these like traditional collectors like yourself, traditional art collectors? Or like, how are you guys managing and engaging these communities?
Yes, there is all collectors that they want to go to the next level with the all collection. And here I have like Sylvain Levy, that is one of the biggest collectors of Chinese artworks. He's based in Paris, but he always tried to push the collection to the next level. And this is one type of collector that decided to put some digital art in the collection that is a very traditional collection from traditional Asian artists with digital art. And this is one kind of collector. And then we see a lot of crypto guys or crypto companies that they see digital art as the friendly face of the cryptos. They see, because they see crypto as digital art, as NFTs, as part of the same blockchain technology. And then they are they say, okay, instead to buy cryptos, I buy in digital art, because for me I can enjoy it, because cryptos I'm going to put in the wallets, but I'm not going to enjoy it. If I buy digital art, I have a value of that in cryptos, and
And
I
it
can
could be a
enjoy.
status symbol. Yeah.
I can enjoy it, and I can play with my friends or my communities or whatever. And this is another kind of investors. And then there is the technological startups, people that they are involved in technology. Yeah, they are moving in that kind of digital space, and they have interest because they see something that they like it. And it's not cryptos; they are not traditional, but they have interest to have some digital. They are involved sometimes in gamings and all that, but there is a lot coming with that kind of new startups and technology startups that they feel, or they are digital brains at the end. You need to understand that majority of them, they are digital brains. It means that they has been trained, they has been taught, they has been growth in the digital space. It means they move in that kind of electricity inputs, and they feel comfortable with that kind of space.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm curious, in terms of advice for creators that want to get more involved into this space, and just in all of these technologies, what type of advice or suggestion do you have? We have a lot of great ones tuning in right now.
Well, the first thing is, you need see, we are moving in the creative economy, number one, and everything. One of the things is we need uh, to stop to create silos. See, we cannot work independent. Why? See, it's not like before that it was that kind of competition and whatever. It's like, yeah, I have something, but I'm not going to tell you, because if you say, well, it's like that kind of old way to make business. We are in that kind of a space that everybody knows everything, is sharing through internet with the
Yeah.
speed of electricity,
True.
and the level of changes are so quick. It means that
Mhm.
you need to learn so fast. It means that if you need to learn so fast, you need to be super well connected, and you need to have a strong communities to work
Network. Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
You need to see the people, not just your competitors. You need to see the people that you can grow with, and
Mm.
you need to learn from, and you need to share. Is that kind of a new economy of sharing, of learning, of let's do it all together. You have this part, I have this part, let's sit together and make it stronger. Or let's find somebody that knows. See, it's more that kind of teamwork, sharing, communities. I have my own point of view, I have
Mhm.
my creation process, because this is what I bring to the party, but I'm not the only one of the party, and I want to have the party with everybody. And that's, I feel that this is super relevant, because if you work like in the old economy, that you're trying to do yourself everything, you're not going to survive. I tell you.
No, that's such a good point. And that brings me actually to a point. Nova, who is in our audience right now, she has put together like a fashion course and invited a lot of us, different experts and innovators. That's actually happening this Saturday. So I invite everyone to check that out. But yeah, it's all about co-creation. When I founded the Fashion DAO, we did different contests and made sure everybody's work is seen and they collaborate together, match them into different teams. So that's a really good advice, and that old mindset of competition only doesn't really work in this day and age. Thank you so much for that. So what's next for Artdott and you, and how people can support and follow you, and what they should be excited about?
Well, they can follow us. Of course, we have the platform ardot.com that you can access. Personally, in LinkedIn, you can connect with me, and I'm always available. You want to have like a one-to-one meeting, you have my calendar there. You can arrange a discovery call anytime, and I'm happy to connect with the communities and to share and to learn together. And that's always something that is part of my DNA, and I'm happy to do it. And then for the rest, yes, well, we are at this moment in B2B. Next year we are going into B2C, but in a deep and we are going to incorporate. Now we are going to have Artdott 2.0 in the next months. Next year we are going to have 3.0. We are going to start to introduce AI as part of the AI assistant to create playlists and to create things that helps the the final collectors to have more amazing experience in the platform. And then for next year is full community. You see, what we are developing in the platform is going to be focused in communities, how to engage with communities, how to create projects together with that kind of co-creation between artists, between brands, between collectors. That's what's going to happen in Artdott 3.0 next year, and where we are going to put the accent and where we are putting the energy.
Wow, well said. Thank you. You're basically doing what you preach, so that's amazing. And thank you to our amazing community. They have put a lot of great comments, engagement. Yemi says, how do we make the older generation understand that Web3 terminologies are not just fancy buzzwords? I mean, yeah, we're all working on, focusing on the good and not, necessarily dismissing a big technology or a big opportunity because of a few bad actors. So definitely that's a work in progress. And also Yemi says the age of collective consciousnness. Yes. And Ian, everybody deserves a voice. I love that campaign, Ian.
Yeah.
Yes, and you guys are partnering, which is great. I know Sneaker is growing and great world. And then Aaron says exciting roadmap ahead. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Nova says great insights. Thank you so much for sharing. This is community. We don't need to talk about something else. We have an amazing, supportive, lovely friends and communities around us. Thank you so much, Carlos, for your insights, for your experiences. We'll be in touch and see what's next. And thanks to our amazing community. Tune in again next week. We'll be talking about fashion. And we are always talking about latest and greatest in tech. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.